In the interrogation, detectives kept coming back to why Starks chose to cross in front of the Nissan. That will be crucial to the Little Rock Police Department's internal investigation. Former Vice President Joe Biden is expected to announce his bid for the 2020 presidential campaign tomorrow. We introduced you to our digital detox challenge yesterday morning, and you met the two brave people who were willing to let go of social media for 1 week.
Well, it says picture.
If someone is writing me and they don't know the difference between your, and your, we're done. Last year I did this like weird point thing. Like I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna point at you.
Talk about relieving some of the stress too.
Yes, because it's usually that financial strain.
Yeah, mimosas can only do so much. Thanks to everyone who has donated, helped us exceed our goal this morning, but donations keep on rolling in. Well, of all things to be debated on the internet, this is probably one of the most random, but one of the best ones.
Okay.
I agree.
Well, the internet is divided on how many times to say chugga before choo-choo. Yeah, it's a real question.
It's Monday.
It's very emotional. It's very sad.
So often we talk about the statistics.
An overwhelming sadness.
But the real story behind the opioid epidemic is the faces of those who lost their lives.
Crazy seeing the magnitude of it, because a lot of times it feels like it's something that may just be affecting your family, but it can be something much larger than that.
This week, the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville is hosting Prescribed to Death, a traveling exhibit dedicated to raising awareness about prescription overdose deaths.
This exhibit is really to put a face on the opioid addiction that has really swept our nation and hit Arkansas particularly hard.
The exhibit includes a memorial wall made up of 22,000 small white pills, each carved with a human face, to represent the number of lives lost to prescription overdoses in 2015.
We know when we see that one pill on the wall that represents one person who died, but it represents so many more people whose lives will never be the same.
People like Betty Hackala, who lost her son to an overdose in 2016.
It changes your life forever to have lost someone that you love, especially your child.
One of the most unique parts about the exhibit is the ability to add your loved one's name to the memorial with a click of a button.
Just standing here looking at every single face is crazy, and I definitely want to take the time and bring my roommates and my parents when they come up.
The University of Arkansas is the 5th stop on the nationwide tour of the exhibit and the first in the South, a collaborative effort among several organizations, including the Attorney General's office and student government.
It's important that we let them know their voice is being heard and that we want to do something about that, and this exhibit is a perfect example of that.
Putting a face to the statistics and educating people about a crisis that affects us all.
These are a lot of lives to be lost to something that could have been prevented.
Hey Fiona, you want to go play?
For years, 30-year-old Paul Hughes has dreamt about adopting a dog.
Go get it.
I had planned on getting kind of an older dog, but then I met her, and it was love at first sight.
In July, Hughes met and fell in love with Fiona, a 4-month-old pit bull from the Little Rock Animal Village.
Good girl.
But before he made the decision to adopt, he had to find the perfect location for his new family.
One of the biggest things was having a yard. I wanted to be in a neighborhood where I would feel comfortable walking around, when walking around at night. I also wanted to have enough space for it not to be too cramped. So my previous apartment was so small that even with a mid-sized dog, it was really cramped.
When it comes to millennials getting ready to purchase their first home, their reasons for buying are different than previous generations. And one of the key factors in making a decision, you guessed it, a dog.
Whenever we take buyers through the initial consultation, we always ask them, do they have any children? And the very next question is, do you have any pets? You can see the dining room with the huge windows, and all the bedrooms are on this side.
Ray Allen is a realtor with a property group in Little Rock. He says millennials purchasing homes is on the rise, and with many waiting longer to get married and have children, their focus is on their pets.
They need something that's fenced in, easy access to the backyard. A lot of them are looking for larger laundry rooms so that they could put a kennel or a cat box or something like that.
Drop it.
And while Hughes admits he did have to adjust his lifestyle a bit since adopting Fiona, it was well worth it.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Off a quiet dead-end road in Lone Oak sits a home that looks just like any other. But one step inside, and you're transformed into a whole other world.
I love it.
Meet Wanda Cooks.
You know, it never gets dull.
If you couldn't tell, the 74-year-old grandma has a slight obsession with Coca-Cola products.
We have over 7,000 items in our home.
Okay, maybe a huge obsession.
It just kind of got out of control.
Especially if you ask her husband.
You know, I'm a Marine, so I improvise, adapt, and overcome.
I started collecting about 27 years ago when I was going to flea markets looking for old jewelry. I would see Coca-Cola items at almost every flea market I went to, and it was just so bright and cheerful. Brought back memories of my childhood when a bottle of Coca-Cola was a special drink.
And the decor doesn't come down when the season ends. This is what the Cooks' home looks like all year long, earning Wanda the name the Crazy Coca-Cola Lady.
Well, you know it's not nice to call people crazy, but I'm crazy for Coca-Cola.
And the Cooks don't keep this Coca-Cola masterpiece to themselves. Every holiday season, they invite over some very special guests.
Isn't that neat? When our grandson, oldest grandson, Josh Anderson, was in the 2nd grade at Lone Oak, he said, "Grandma, can we have a little Coca-Cola party for my class?" Well, that started a tradition. The next year we did it, the next year we did it, and so on. So we're looking forward to many more years to come hosting the 2nd graders.
While some may call it crazy,
You see the house, she might be a little bubble off.
for the Cooks, it's tradition. One they hope everyone will sit back, take a sip, and enjoy.
That's the main thing. You know, if you bring a smile to someone's face, then you've done something good.